First, Bloomberg.
And I'm very lucky that over the years I've been able to work with some great brands with great history. And obviously BELSTAFF have seen something in myself that they feel that can add to their brand as well. And you know, it's been a successful collaboration so far.
What do you bring to the creative process?
I would hope quite a bit. You know, obviously when I first sat down with the creative team at BELSTAFF, they kind of got me straight away. You know, we sat down, we looked at the mood board, and it's everything that I wear. So it was kind of an easy process, and I think that's why it's been so successful. You know, it's kind of, we've kept it very simple. You know, we've kept it to the things that work for BELSTAFF, but obviously changed it in a way that, you know, my kind of creative side has come into it as well. And I think that's what's important. It's important to the success of the collection, because people want to see me wear it. People want to see, you know, stuff that I actually do wear. And I think we've created something that people see that in the collection.
How has the David Beckham brand been able to continue to evolve? You are on both ends of the consumer scale, the higher end and the lower end. How are you able to appeal to both segments of the consumer population?
Do you know, I think over the years people have seen how personal it is to me. You know, people, I don't think people have ever seen me put something out or be part of something that doesn't involve me being involved in the process 110%, because, you know, everything that I've gone into, people see that there's a very personal touch there. You know, from the boots that I wear in games, from that to then doing a collection like this with BELSTAFF, people see it's very personal to me, and I've been able to, you know, keep that going over the years for quite a few years, and I'm very lucky. You know, I feel very privileged to be in a position where people are still interested in, you know, buying the clothes that I create, or you know, even still wearing the boots that I've worn over the years.
Okay, now that's the creative side. How did your discipline on the pitch enable you to jump into the business side of this? Because it's not just, okay, I'm looking at swatches, I'm looking at styles, but your business input has to be on this as well.
I think, you know, I've been very lucky over the years to work with some great brands, and kind of that's kind of made me evolve into being, you know, more kind of successful on the business side, because, you know, I always revert back to, you know, the underwear collection that we have. You know, I started off with Armani. It was very successful with the collaboration that I did with them, and then, you know, we had the idea of creating something ourselves and owning it ourselves, and we, you know, 100% own that. But we are in a collaboration with H&M. So it's something that kind of over the years I've kind of just grown into. You know, my full focus over the years has always been on my career in football. I've always worked hard, and I've always known what works. So, you know, my career has always been about, I look back at it, and when people say, you know, say one thing that your career has always been about, and it's always been about hard work.
Your career has been roaring along, just like
I
the
know,
motorcycles.
yeah, the bikes come. So it's always been about hard work, and I've taken that from, you know, the soccer field into the business side of my life. And, you know, I think if you work hard in life, things happen.
Speaking of the soccer side, you're still looking at Miami for a Major League Soccer team, but the locals down there, the officials, have rejected that twice.
Yeah.
Have you given up hope of landing a team in Miami, or is there still some optimism?
Miami's going to happen. Miami will happen.
You sound pretty confident.
Yeah, I believe that it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. You know, I think that obviously when I first went into this, you know, I was very proud to have been part of the MLS for the amount of years that I was, but obviously then I was even more proud to continue, you know, the belief that I feel that soccer will grow into being one of the toughest and best leagues in the world in this country. And obviously Miami for us is one of the first steps into a personal thing for me. I went to Miami and I said, you know, I want to bring a team here, and I will take a team to Miami, but obviously there are politics, there are speed bumps along the way, and we've come up against those. But to be honest, I've been very cheeky in a way, because I've gone into Miami and I've said, okay, I want to build Old Trafford, or I want to build Wembley Stadium next to Buckingham Palace. You know, I've kind of gone in, and my dream was to have, you know, our stadium on the waterfront. It's not worked out like that, and we have alternative sites, and like I said, it will happen.
May I ask you about MLS and relegation and promotion? The head of the MLS says that won't happen. That's when teams get to a certain level. If they don't achieve that level, they get bumped down to a lower division. Is it time for the MLS to take another look at that?
Well, I think
that's the way they do it in the Premier League.
It's the way, you know, it's the way that I've grown up with. And obviously, when I moved to America, you know, I realised that wasn't the case, which is kind of a relief in a way, because you know you're not going out of the big league. But in a way, it kind of makes you fight more, and maybe the league will grow into having, you know, a few different divisions. But at the moment,
about
the league,
24 teams by 2020, they're talking about, right?
So the league, you know, has grown so much over the last 10 years. But I think Don Garber, the commissioner, and a lot of people in the MLS have done such a great job to get the league to be as stable as it is. And people are now looking at the MLS and coming up against MLS teams and thinking, okay, this is serious. And I think people are starting to realise that.
Who's the best football player in the world right now?
Right now, Ronaldo, Cristiano. You know, he's such a great player. But you know, I love Messi. You know, between those two players, I don't think, you know, Ronaldo obviously had a great year last year and he got World Player of the Year. But obviously, a few years before that, you know, Messi had it. So people always turn around to me and say, who do you prefer, or who do you think's best? I don't think you can pick between the two, because they're two players that have been at the top of their game for so many years, and they continue to do it week in, week out, year in and year out, and that's testimony to them two players.
Before I let you go, just quickly, this venture, the new venture with BELSTAFF, does that satisfy your competitive side? Because a lot of athletes, they may go into another sport. You see some pro athletes, they take up golf or something else where they can be competitive. Does this satisfy what you're missing by not being on the pitch?
I don't think anything can satisfy, you know, what you, as an athlete, what you have on the field. The only thing that satisfies me on that side is watching my kids play. Watching my kids play and watching them win games or score goals or, you know, play well, that satisfies me.
Are you the father who jumps up and screams at the ref?
You're not allowed these days. These days you're not allowed to say too many things on the sideline. I mean, some parents still do, but no, I try to kind of let the boys get on with it and make their own mistakes, and they do pretty well.